Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. This is sort of a continuation video of a couple different things, and I will try and recap extremely briefly. I have been trying to show you how cool it is to make a skin from an acrylic pour that you can then wrap around a tumbler, a stainless steel tumbler, as your background instead of using paint right on it or alcohol inks and resin or some of the other ways that people get pretty designs onto tumblers. You can use acrylic paint to create a skin. So the first attempt produced a really cool pour. That was actually a second attempt pour. The first pour was pretty cool, but then I ran out of paint, so I did a second one that was mostly yellow. We used it anyway. We got it on the tumbler. When I say we, I mean me, of course, the royal we. And then I screwed it all up by using so much glitter in the final layer of epoxy that you really can't see the skin. You really can't even see that my name is on a decal under there. Well, maybe sort of, but anyway, the whole thing is now overly glittered and kind of obscured by that. So then I tried again and I got a beautiful pour the second time. And while I was trying to remove it from the backing to then get it onto the tumbler, things went horribly awry and we ended up with that. That is the second skin for a tumbler. So we are going to do third attempt today. And the other thing that this is combined with is my quest to make a really cool homage tumbler to Superman of the comic book world. Huge fan of Superman in general, love the movies, love the TV show, love the comics, and a friend of mine has a comic channel on YouTube, which I will link to below, and she mentioned some sort of collab that we might give it a try, and so this is sort of hopefully leading up to that. I have already done one tumbler, or the base coat for one tumbler. This is with a process called hydrodipping, where you put the paint in water and then you dip the tumbler into it. And I used Superman colors from the comics, which are blue, red, and gold, or yellow. And I think it turned out really well. I do not have the emblem on here yet. I need to seal this first, then put the emblem on, then epoxy it, and then see how the final looks. So there will be an update to this, but I wanted you to see that one. And so in the same vein, I'm going with these same three colors, and we are going to do an acrylic pour that will hopefully become a skin that will hopefully go on another tumbler, and I will not obscure it with glitter next time. And then we'll see of the two, this one we do today and this one, which looks cooler and more Superman-esque. So we'll find out. In order to do the skin for the tumbler, we need to pour over something that we can then peel the skin off of that is the correct size. And I have been using sheet protectors. And in the in the video for this one, I made the sheet protector itself obvious to you viewers by putting in a picture that my friend Sandy took, and this time in Scotland. And this time I'm using another picture from Scotland, and that is my friend Sandy right there. So everybody say hi, Sandy. So that's what we're going to pour over, but you can see where the edges are. So I need enough paint to cover that area. We are going to use a 5-ounce cup. My goal here is, of the three colors, I want mostly blue, then next mostly red, and the least amount will be yellow because as you can't see because of all the glitter, yellow does tend to take over if you get too much of it into a pour. So that's the order we're going to do it in. And I am now going to commence layering a cup. Oh, I'm sorry. I am using, because this one was so successful, I used the Deco Art Fluid Art Ready to Pour acrylic paints. This one that was such a disaster was made with the Artist Loft Ready Mix pouring paints. So I am never, ever, ever going to use these again for an acrylic skin for a tumbler. But we are going to use these again because it worked pretty well the first time. All right, blue, red, yellow, and I am just going to speed up through this process. It's going to be these three colors over and over and over, so sit back and watch. Okay, we are good to pour. I am going to do a plain old tree ring to start. We may end up wrecking it or combing through it or something, but let's just start with a tree ring and see what we get. And we are ending up with a little green. That's kind of a shame. Shouldn't be surprised though. That yellow was gonna probably merge with something. Either the red making orange or the blue making green. Maybe it won't be too bad. Alrighty. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, do you think we should wreck it? Or comb it? Or just tilt it? Well, you know what? If we don't like this one, we can always do another, right? So let's go for a big S for Superman. It's a mild wreck. And now we tilt. Remember, we're just trying to cover the sheet protector. We don't need it to go any further than that. It can, but we don't need it to. Don't want to lose all the yellow. Let's stretch this back. I think this is going to look pretty dang cool. Oh yeah. Come on down. There we go. A little bit over here. Come on, you can do it. We didn't hang on to our S, but that's actually all right. I didn't really expect that to work out. Okay. Well, I love it. I really do. I tell you what, before I decide it's too green, let's wait and see. We'll get it off of here once it dries, wrap it around a tumbler, and see if we can make it work. So, let's go in for our close-up. Wow, it looks a lot bluer on my phone. Lower right-hand corner. The lines are amazing. But there is some green because of the blue and the yellow. I could redo the pour. Sorry, upper right-hand corner. I could redo the pour and have red buffer between the blue and the yellow each time. Upper left, down the left-hand side, to the lower left area, and then along the bottom. And here we have the whole thing. All right, so we will be back once this dries and we peel it off and see what it looks like on a tumbler. Stay tuned, everyone. Hey folks, we're back. Our Deco Art ready to pour paint skin for the next attempt at a Superman tumbler is fully dry now, and I was gonna cut it off the sheet protector and see if we can get a decent wrap around a 20-ounce skinny that will look appropriate for a Superman mug. I'm still concerned by how much green there is because this is not a Green Lantern mug, this is a Superman mug. And even though I wanted very little yellow and very little red, I got very little more or very little less than I was hoping for. So before I scrap the idea and start over, I wanted to cut this out so you can see how that works again, in case you missed the last video where we tried this. And we'll wrap it around the tumbler without glue just to see what it's going to look like and if it might produce a decent Superman tumbler regardless of the green. Maybe we can work around it. There will be a logo that will clarify the issue, but I really want it to look like, you know, Superman colors. So this may not work, but we are going to at least take the skin off and wrap it around a tumbler just to get a feel for what it will look like. I have my X-Acto knife with a decent blade in it, and hopefully this will come off the sheet protector relatively easily, not like the last attempt that I did with the Artist Loft. Oh, what a disaster that was. Remember, if you want to do a skin, you can either use your own paints. I think mixing your own paints with Floetrol will work just fine for this. If you want to use ready-mix paints, just to make it one step easier, do not use Artist Loft. Only use Deco Art. Maybe Arteza. The Arteza ready-to-pour paints might work as well. I don't have any of those, so I don't know. Maybe if I get some, we can test that next. But that won't happen for this tumbler. This tumbler is going to happen. All right, so here's my picture of Sandy. Put that aside. Oh, that's kind of cool. So this skin is still on top of the sheet protector. There's one side of the sheet protector. Now we've got to get the skin off the other side and hope it goes more easily. It did the first time. It was relatively straightforward the first time. I might have to go get my Cricut weeding tool. Come on, you can do it. Here we go.
Okay. And do not let it fold in on itself. That is not as dangerous as it was with the last skin, but I still don't want to lose another skin by having it weld onto itself like that last one did. That was such a mess. And a waste. It was a real waste. Okay. Let's see if I can there we go. See, that one works better. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go with the art, or the deco art. That's even dry, although it's been against plastic. Okay, so now 20-inch skinny. Let's see if we can, actually, that's kind of cool. Well, still so green though. But let's put this on here and see what wrapping it around from different spots will get us. Because this might be okay. There's plenty of blue there, but honestly, this, while it's very, very cool, is just, yeah, so green. Oh dear, I don't know. I hate to start over again, but you know, this is all one giant experiment. We could say the green is Krypton. So this represents Superman colors and kryptonite all mixed together. I should probably ask my friend who I'm doing this for what she thinks. So maybe I will check in with her and ask her her thoughts. She's all excited about this idea, but at the same time, you know, it needs to look like there's a connection to Superman. So I'm gonna check with her, and if she's okay with trying this, we will come back and attach it and trim it, and then I will epoxy it and get it ready to have a Superman logo put on it.
Hey buddy, we're back. We are moving along to plan B here. B would stand for Batman in this case. My buddy who has this amazing comic book YouTube channel, and I will link to that below. I showed her this and said, you know, green Krypton maybe. And she said, well, you know, it's kind of dark and foreboding, sort of like Gotham. So what about the Batman emblem? So I'm gonna give that a try. I think that's a cool idea. So we're gonna end up with, if this goes well, a Superman tumbler and a Batman tumbler. And won't that be cool? So, what I want to do, I want to use this area and as much of this area as necessary, which means we are going to start wrapping at this end, which also means I need to get out my Mod Podge. I still have my little dollar store Mod Podge bottle, which still has quite a bit in it. And I'm just going to apply this to my tumbler, and then we will start wrapping and see what we get. All right, so let's pick a good spot. That looks like a good spot. And now, okay, 2 hands. And now, hopefully I will be able to do a nice even trim. Nice even straight trim. Okay, well, this piece should just come off.
Scissors. Okay, and then we have to pull this piece back without pissing it off too much. Because if I pull it and stretch it, then it won't match up well with the other one. Okay, and then I know it's probably making you dizzy as I'm turning all these. This stuff is. Has anybody ever played with color forms? I remember color forms from when I was a kid, and that was a long time ago. I used to have a Jackie Kennedy Onassis color forms set, and I would dress her in all her different pretty dresses. And it was basically this similar to this, where the plastic pieces would all stick to each other and to a shiny board that would be included with different White House scenarios. Nothing particularly complicated, but just, yeah. Anyway, this always makes me think of color forms. So we peel that off, and now, with any luck, we'll be able to get this seam to butt up cleanly and lay down flat. And I will probably try and get the air bubbles out. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I would rather it lay flat. If there's a tiny little gap in spots, that's okay, because I think what I'm going to do is run some sort of line up here, whether it's a piece of washi tape or a strip of vinyl that I cut. And then if you still have air bubbles, you can either try and push them out, which that work there. If they're too far inland for that to work, you can always very carefully pop a tiny little hole and then push it down. Okay, now, before the Mod Podge has a chance to dry, which will make this more difficult, we get out our nifty edging tool. I think this will be easier for me to set it flat if I cut off some of this. And this is, you can get this on Etsy. You can also get it on Amazon. I will link to both places below, but basically it's a razor blade and it holds it steady as you push the cup up against it and spin it around. And it allows you to cut a nice straight edge all the way around in whatever material you've just wrapped your tumbler in. In this case, acrylic pouring skin, but it could also be fabrics. There are some amazing tumbler makers out there who do fabric wrapped tumblers. I may try that at some point. I don't know. We'll see. If you're interested in having me give that a try, let me know. Tell me in the comment section down below if you want to see me give fabric wrapping a try. We can use it. Well, it would depend on the fabric I find, but we could make some really cute things. Tie-dye, puppies, unicorns, pretty much whatever you can find printed on fabric we could do it with. All right, now I'll do the rim. This would be the part of the video that is absolutely not for kids to try ever. It's not for many adults to try either. All right. Clean this up a smidge, and then I can clean the Mod Podge off and decide where the emblem's going to go. So that's where we are now. I'm going to get this cleaned up. We are going to get the emblem on it, and we will come back to see that part next. Stay tuned. Hey folks, we're back. So I printed out a decal of the traditional Batman emblem, and I stuck it on here, and I stuck it opposite the seam line, and on the seam line on the back, I don't know how well this shows up. I found a really pretty, very dark purple glitter vinyl, and I just told my Cricut to cut out a 7-inch strip, 1/4 inch wide. I peeled it off the backing paper and I put it right over the seam line. And I wanted to explain how I got the decal. This is printable vinyl. So it's vinyl, which means it's virtually indestructible. It's a vinyl product, not paper. But it comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets. Here's the exact product I used. This is matte vinyl printer sticker paper for inkjet printers. And I put it in my inkjet printer and I set it for high quality photo paper in matte. And just to make sure you can see where the Batman logo was, you can see where the Superman logo was, that's a different video. To make sure I did not waste the sheet entirely by just using these 2 spaces and leaving the rest blank, I printed out some more things, and then I put it through my Cricut machine after I printed this, and it turns these into stickers. It cuts out the outline, so I could just peel these off and put them on mugs or wall art for a kid's room, coasters. So anyway, this was this. I peeled it off. I put it on here. We are going to spray sealer on it. But before I do that, before I spray anything on it or epoxy it, I wanted to put glitter on these bare strips and the bottom. And I thought, in keeping with the whole brooding Gotham City vibe, I would go with this. Again, I don't know how well it shows up here. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dark holographic black, basically, but with lots of other dark colors in it, purples and greens and whatnot. So it sort of matches everything. And I'm going to Mod Podge, my little thing of Mod Podge, the top, and sprinkle glitter there, and Mod Podge the bottom and the strip and sprinkle it there. Then I will spray seal the whole thing to keep everything in place, and then I will epoxy resin. So here we go. We're gonna paint on the rim of the cup. All right, beautiful and sparkly, but you know, really dark and dramatic too, because Batman. Okay, let's do this final strip, the bottom. All right, folks, there we have it. Okay, so next coat is a clear coat seal spray on, and then I'll bring you back one final time to see the finished product, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl. I just wanted to bring you back for the finale of the Batman tumbler that started out as a Superman tumbler. We poured this skin. I was going for my Superman colors again of red, blue, and yellow. And it came out a little darker and a little greener than I had hoped. So on the advice or suggestion of my buddy, who has the amazing comic book channel known as SHBAB, or Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe Comics, check out her channel. I went with Batman, and I think it turned out really well. Put the decal on. This is printable vinyl. And then I sealed it, and I added glitter at both. Actually, I added the glitter first, then I sealed everything, and then I epoxy resined twice. And this is the result, and I think it's beautiful. I don't know if you can see, this is, there we go. This is Ebonhawk, E-B-O-N-H-A-W-K is the name of the glitter. It's from bulkglitters.com. It is just stunning in the sunlight. I'm not sure it shows up well here on camera, but I really like how it looks. So that's at the top, the bottom, and the bottom. It's very, very sparkly, and yet it is still dark and brooding. So, good Gotham representative glitter. Thanks, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe.